we're going to be looking at some accessories today, putting some stuff together in just a moment. So, just the other day, got in this envelope from none other than Odinworks. They're stationed in Boise, Idaho. They make a lot of really cool AR accessories, some unique items. Let's see, what do we got? Yep, that's everything I ordered. All right. These items are going to be going on the competition rifle. This is just a patch for the jacket. Got to have a patch. Okay, so again, these items are for the competition rifle for 3-gun. How I've been working with my competition guns, as I've mentioned in other videos, I find a failure point in competition and then I'll modify from there. So a couple points right in front of us here. We have the Odinworks XMR version 2, and then we have the Odinworks charging handle and lever, all assembled in one piece. So the first XMR, extended magazine release is what that stands for, was really one of Odinworks' first products, and now this is version 2. Version 3 actually just came out. Version 3 works with the KNS pins. If you've seen the bar going from the trigger pins to the hammer pin, this will accommodate around that. It'll make more sense when I get the lower receiver down here and we put it together. Both the XMR2 and the 3 also accommodate any sort of battery assist device like the Magpul BAD lever. The number 2 comes in all sorts of Cerakote colors, so of course I got burnt bronze to match the rest of the details on my rifle. Comes with the wrench, comes with the magazine release extension, and again, we'll be installing that in just a moment. The next piece we got here, like I said, is the charging handle and extended latch. Especially when you have an optic on that rifle, it can be cumbersome to get that charging handle if you need to, if you have a malfunction, whatever may be. I found in the last match when I did actually have a malfunction due to my bolt carrier is what I've pretty much narrowed it down to. That might be the next part coming in from Odin. We'll see how it goes in the next match. Grabbing just the standard latch or charging handle, very awkward and cumbersome to try to do it at speed. So having that extended handle, even though this isn't ambidextrous, just having that big handle that you can just even hit it with your palm, really nice there. Before we open things up too, just because we got it here, I really dig that too, right there. Forward with purpose. I think that's just a really cool slogan right there. Moving forward is one thing, but moving forward with purpose is a totally different discussion. So, what we're going to do is take a quick pause in the recording, and then we'll get the upper and lower set out here, and we'll install those parts. All right, and we're back. Lest you forget what we're working on here, we got my Odinworks mug. Won that on an Instagram giveaway. Love it. Awesome. Okay, so 2 simple parts to install. We're just going to do the simplest one first. Just going to pop my takedown pin out here. I haven't done a video on my rifle yet. I don't know why, I just haven't. I'm going to do a way more in-depth video when this rifle is really built out exactly how I want it to be. I really started this build, I think, over a year ago, year and a half maybe even. It was kind of during, well, not kind of, it was during the scare, I guess we'll say, where parts were hard to come by. It was hard to even find just a simple grip, even through my distributors and everything like that. It was just a bear to get any parts. It was really wild. This is the lower. We're not going to actually work with that right now. Charging handle. First thing first. Whoop. Here we go. So, as you can see, we just have the standard charging handle right there with the standard latch. And you can see with the scope on there, even as far forward as we can get it on the rail, it's really in the way of that charging handle. Now, hopefully you don't have to use it very often, in competition, but you're gonna have to, so you might as well make sure that it's the best it can be. So installation of that, if you don't know, take out your bolt carrier group, take out your charging handle. Now this part can be a little tricky actually. So you can see near the end of the charging handle, those two bumps out on the side, there is a slot essentially, or a little widening in the channel that those drop into, and then goes into your receiver that way. Some people just try to push it straight in like that. It will not go in. It has to go in a little bit and then slot down and slide in. So, old handle out. That's just going to go back in the parts bucket. Open up our new one. All right, so a little bit closer look. We got a nice big handle. Let's compare these side by side. I'll oil up the other one after we're done because we don't really need to. So the main body is the standard piece for the most part, and a lot of different companies make different handles. Odinworks, you can even just buy the latch if you don't want to disassemble that roll pin. It's really not that hard, but I just opted to spend a few more dollars, really not that expensive, and just buy the whole piece because I also wanted my Odinworks logo and that forward with purpose. Not gonna lie, just I liked that. I thought it was cool. A few more dollars for the cool factor. As long as you're honest with yourself and you're not trying to hide that you just bought something for the cool factor, you're good, in my book. All right, find those slots, slide in it a little bit, drop our bolt carrier group, line that key up in the channel, your gas key. Oops, got to get my bolt forward. Make sure the bolt is forward. See, it was back, okay? Won't go in that way. It's kind of awkward how I'm holding this to film. Slide it in. There we go. That's it. If you can't install a bolt handle, you got some problems. All right. So already we can see real nice. You can just grab that with the palm really quick, hit that, pull that charging handle back if you need to, in whatever situation it may be, competitive or tactical, whatever. So we can clear that scope a lot easier now. All right, so I'm going to set this down. Like I said, I'll throw some extra oil on there after we do the next part. So I'm going to take a quick break, clean up this workspace a little bit, and we'll install the magazine release. All right, and we're back. So now we are going to be installing our extended magazine release, the XMR version 2. Again, in burnt bronze to match my barrel detailing there. So we're all good there. So standard magazine release, obviously I'm holding this upside down so we can see what's going on. We got this button, and it's in a very natural reach, depending on the size of your hand. When I've got a full grip, I'm almost to my knuckle on that button. But the XMR gives us a lot more surface area, a much faster purchase onto that button. If you have shorter hand or smaller hands, thus a shorter finger, let's say your hand only comes to here when you have a full grip, you'd have to break your grip to get that magazine release. So even though I can get that button pretty easily because I got larger hands, this is going to give me a much bigger surface area, quicker button actuation, little racier look. Can't beat that. You know, this is a race gun, so as cool as we can look, always good, as long as it's functional too. All right, while we're at it, we can kind of look at some things. We got the Magpul bad lever on there. Obviously, you can see that right there. Very easy, quick install on that. I'm not going to take it off and put it back on. I really think that it's an indisposable piece of equipment to have on your standard lower. A lot more lowers are coming out now with ambidextrous bolt releases where there will be a little lever on the side. They're a little more expensive because there's more machining. It's a specialty part. Aero Precision makes one. But buying a standard lower and buying a bad lever is less expensive and just as effective. So you got a bigger button if you're doing a standard release, slapping that button, or you can actuate with your trigger finger. So we got 2 controls, or 3 controls. We got our battery assist device, our mag release, and our trigger, all with our primary hand there. So I like that a lot. In here you can see that green trigger body, drop-in trigger. This is a velocity trigger, competition trigger. Best bang for the buck, really. $150-ish. The guy, I forget his name off the top of his head, who started Velocity Triggers, used to be at Timony Triggers, which is one of the best drop-in trigger companies out there. You probably recognize the name if you're watching these videos. If not, look them up. But Velocity Triggers, he used to work there. He really designed a lot of their trigger stuff, started his own company. Much better price point. This is the 3 or 3.5 pound competition trigger. Awesome, awesome trigger. They make it in a standard curved trigger bow, or they also have a straight one. I just opted for the traditional curve just because I wasn't sure if I'd like the flat trigger or not. So yeah, that's what we can really see here. Other than that, the lower's pretty standard. I'll probably be putting an ambidextrous safety lever on there at some point, but again, I haven't found that to be a failure point competition yet. You know, any start, you're ready to go, you're on safe, and then as soon as that buzzer goes, boom, right onto fire. And then when you're done, it's easy enough to flip and put that in the dump barrel or whatever you have to do for the stage. Anyway, back to the XMR. So I'm just gonna leave it on safe. Not that it really matters. It's empty, duh. Okay, so magazine releases are super, super easy to change. We might have a little bit of annoyance with the bad lever, and you'll see in a moment why. But first, let's just open up the XMR2. Come on. So, like a lot of things in the gun world, comes with the tool you need. So we're just going to take this apart real quick. So it's 2 components. You can see the burnt bronze colored extension, and then basically a standard button that has 2 extra holes drilled and tapped to accommodate the extension. So I'll just set those down. If you've taken apart or worked on your rifle at all, you should really intuitively see how this is going to go together. If not, keep watching. So we've got our piece there. Now we're going to use this button as a tool. So I'm just going to stack it on top of the standard button, push it all the way through. And so you see what happened. That pushes the actual latch. Okay, if we look inside, that's where it interfaces with your magazine. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of trouble, and you just unscrew it. We're just getting past. Whew, there we go. The bad lever. Okay, so now that is all the way out. I'm releasing this very slow. Whoa, not very slowly on the other side. I'm going to have to... oh, no, that was just the standard button. I don't have to go hunting for the XMR2 one. So I'll find that in a minute. So now we got our empty latch and button all the way through. So installing it's just as easy. I'm just going to use an old pencil to depress the other side. Make sure that your threaded holes are on the outside. Okay. Putting my latch in there. Dropping my spring over on top of that. Again, I'm going to take the latch, let the latch drop out a little bit. And take my beater pencil here and use that to depress the spring. Okay. Now we just reverse that. Push it in as far as you possibly can. That's why I kind of like using the pencil. I can push it way further in. Okay, now our threads have caught. So I'm going to turn this in until I just start scraping the, yeah, bad lever right there. Yep, okay, that's as far as I can go. Slowly release that. Now we essentially just have our standard button again. Okay, you can see that I got that all the way flush. just barely below the surface. Now we can see how that's going to go on there. There's only one direction it can go on unless you put it on the other way and it's facing the complete wrong direction and you're not even going to be able to actuate it. So then we've just got our screws here, again with our supplied hex wrench, which is going to go into the supplied hex wrench pile when we're done. However, I find you never can have too many little hex wrenches lying around. Even if you have a full nice kit. I just have, like I said, I've just got a pile in one of the tool drawers of all hex wrenches. So finger tight, yeah, just give it a little crank down. You don't want to strip them out. And we're done. You might add some Loctite in there if you want. It really shouldn't need it. Very nice. So I get that all this more surface area for my finger to hit that button. I don't have to be as accurate on that button now. Okay, so we go from our safe position, we got our battery assist device, we got our trigger, and we got that XMR2. All right, I'm gonna grab a magazine real quick and we'll look at that drop free. Okay, we got a hex mag right there. Drop free with one quick little touch of the button. All right, we'll put the rifle back together and wrap up now. And we're back together. Show off that sweet custom handguard by Unique ARs while we're at it. Sweet. All right, so we have now our extended latch on there and charging handle. And our XMR2. So we got that. We got our Odinworks XMR2. Remember, XMR3 just came out as well. And the Odinworks extended charging handle latch and charging handle. Super easy to install. We got our Thor's hammer on that hex mag too. Fit that. Ooh, ow, why did I do that? Whatever. Fitting that theme there. So we got a couple new parts on the competition rifle. Learned a little bit about the rifle as it is right now. We're ready to go.